In this video, we're going to discuss some of the basics of taking a look at the email that you're currently getting and trying to decipher if the email is legitimate, if it's spam, or primarily things that's really causing a lot of headaches for a lot of people, corporations, businesses, and individuals are what's called phishing scams. And that's simply where someone sends out an email to you. It may include links, which it usually does, and certain filtering usually is applied on the server level, which we do have, and I'll show you some of our current statistics. But it will get past those filters, especially if it's new programming code, and some of the filters that are set up in place are not detecting the new information or the new programming because maybe it has never been discovered yet. So it slips by your email filtering system and gets to you, and usually there's a link for you to click on, and what it will do is redirect you to usually a website, kind of may even entice you to do a variety of things, but usually it's to get your name, could even be social security number or just a variety of things, any account type of information, or to simply get you to click on a file, which that file usually could be an executable file, which can then spread throughout your computer and or network and do a variety of things which are damaging to not only you and your computer, but also to your bank account should that happen. Some of you may be aware of some of the things that have gone on in the past. So we're trying to prevent that. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at a few things. Before we get into the actual how-tos, I want to show you a quick statistic here. This is a service that we use that will be on the front end of the email server that all communication goes through, in and out of this. And it does a real good job at tracking and capturing legitimate email, and you can also see here that it will give us some statistics. This information comes from the dates of July the 17th of 2017 through the July the 23rd of 2017. You can see here that the total inbound email, means all the email coming from the outside in, totaled for 1 week was 43,886, and a whopping 18,955 of those emails that came in were rejected. And they're rejected because they included known viruses, they were flagged as spam, and or some other details that are encapsulated within that. But you can see that 43% of all the email that comes into us is bad. So that's certainly not good. We'd like to try to clean that up. And another thing that would certainly help us out is any type of personal store related or retail or a variety of things, anything that is not work related, please sign up to those accounts with your personal email. So much of the email that we see, of course, comes from legitimate retailers and whatnot, but even a lot of those legitimate emails are flagged as spam simply because it's just advertising and marketing and things that really don't provide any value to us as state of Tennessee employees. So we certainly want to try to resolve as much of that as possible. So any personal things that you have to sign up for, please sign up with a Gmail account or a Yahoo email account or something like that. And you can really sign up for any of those retailers, any store-bought information or any website that wants your information. You can simply assign that account to that and free up a lot of mess that we usually get on a day-to-day basis, as you can see. So moving on here, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a few of the emails that we are taking a look at and kind of trying to narrow down. And this will be some examples of some email that maybe you get from time to time. You may have a question or two about it. And what our goal with this is to try to provide you with a how-to, so that instead of trying to contact someone from the IT department and wait for them to do the research, just a couple little things that you can do to say, hey, if this email is legitimate, maybe I should go ahead and click on the link, or if you determine, and after a quick analysis you see that, hey, this doesn't appear to be anything that I need, I think that they're trying to get some information from me, probably just best to go ahead and delete that email. So the first one that we're going to take a look at, you may get something that has come through your inbox that looks similar to this, and you can always take a look at the subject fields. Does that resonate with anything that you normally get in your inbox, or things that you normally work with or try to resolve? And if it doesn't, that's certainly flag number one. There are some other options here that you can actually find out additional details or information about this but we will save that for another video. You can see here that it did include an attachment, and this could be a variety of things. It could actually be this image here that came in as an HTML file, and maybe this HTML file, it's a hypertext markup file. It may include actual links and a variety of things that you may want to avoid. So number one, we will not click on that. If we did want to view it, we could preview it, see exactly what's going on, see what is included within it. Here you can see that this was sent from a Microsoft or an iOS operating system. This is the signature field or the footer that's included in those when they are set up on a smartphone that uses the iOS operating system. You'll notice whenever you hover over the link with your cursor that it will point specifically to the domain name and where that link is going to take you to, or what the link is going to do should you click on it. And you can see here it goes to https aka.ms and that additional extension. So in that case, that should be aka.ms for Microsoft. I would have to verify that. Things certainly change, and I'm not very familiar specifically with that one. Once you take a look at some of these other links, you'll see a variety of details that it will give you. And within this one, if you hover over this link, you can see that it allows you to do a direct reply or a direct new email to this email address that is showing up in this field. And please note that even if it says this, there are ways to spoof that. You can have that listed as the actual text, but behind it you could actually insert a different address that may look something exactly like this, but whenever you click on it, it's not going to do that mail to. It's going to actually take you to an entirely different website or a different domain. So please be aware of that, and you'll be able to find that information out whenever you hover over that link. Please be aware. Once again, we hover over the link here, and you can also see that should I click on this, it should use the application. In this case, we're in Microsoft Outlook. It should create a brand new email using that mail to command, and it would do it to glrutledge@tndagc.org. So far, things are looking legitimate here, at least with these links, although we know specifically that this is certainly not an email that we normally get to our State of Tennessee TNDAGC address. So we'll scroll on down here. You can see here that this image, the link image, so it was an image that came or included with a link. It's probably wrapped up in this HTML file. It was pulled off. And you can also, once we check down here below, you can also see that it's going to be included with this link. So we will scroll down here and we can see the message that comes from them. And this did include my name. And once I hover over this link, you can see that this will take us to a chef-roll.ru and the remaining the rest of that address. So there's a variety of pages and a variety of things that go beyond that normal domain that could be very key as to letting us know whether this is legitimate or false. So let's go ahead. All we have to do is open up a web browser, and when we go to the Google, I'm going to just type in the chef, and I'm going to include spaces in here instead of just typing in that full domain, that chef-roll.ru, because whenever you do that, it's not, if I did not include those and press enter, it would normally take you directly to that website. However, doing it this way, that will give you a search option, so that I want to search and find out, maybe gather some additional information about this domain, which is the chef. But once again here, it did not include the dash. So it looks or appears that this is actually a spoofed domain to some extent to make it look very similar to the legitimate chef-roll.ru. With this .ru extension, or that is an alternate domain for the Russia extension. So we can see here primarily that this is not good, so certainly want to avoid clicking on anything that is provided within that email, because it appears that they're, number one, not only is it not legitimate, but it's also a spoofing of that valid domain. And with the .ru, you certainly know it's not anyone inside the United States. So definitely some things going on with that address. Now the next one that we're going to take a look at, this one appears to have some legitimate or legitimacies with it. However, we do want to encourage you to step a little farther, take a look to see what's actually going on with it. With this one, you can see that when we hover over it, the mail to does provide the exact link for what is shown in the text. Down here, someone sent a message, certainly not familiar with what the Buddy Project Eagle account is, so that's our first flag. And then they also provide a username, which would be the email address. When you hover over that link, it does resemble the exact text that was typed in the message. And then they also provide a password. So the next thing that they want you to do here after reading this, very limited on the text, but they want you to log in, click on the following. So, you know, there's no real indication of who they are or what they're wanting you to do other than click on this link that should take you to their site. So when we do that, we can see here that it appears that the buddi.us domain appears to have some legitimate options within it, at least from going to Google and doing a search. You can see here, you can kind of read the text and get a better idea of exactly what it is, what domain it is, where it may come from. But then you can also see directly after that they've got additional United Kingdom domain for the United Kingdom and some other things that gives you just some information on it. But the next thing that we want to do is we want to go to ICANN or whois.icann.org, and specifically going to look up this domain, find out exactly who it is. Whenever I did that, it specifically states right here that the requested top-level domain is not supported. So it doesn't really find, at least checking this site, doesn't find anything on it. So that's certainly a red flag there. And if we were to type in our tndhgc.org and specifically look for who this is registered to, as well as the records and everything, you can see that this is a legitimate site. It's got contact information, it's got the address, the mailing address, and all of the normal information that you want to find whenever you do a search for anyone that proclaims to have a domain that they are wanting you to go fill out your information to and submit your details. So that's another one. Certainly would want to go ahead and simply delete this email, and also delete it from your deleted items folder. You don't really want any of this information lingering around, especially if you have an email that does include attachment. If something, in this case, this does not have an executable contained within it, but should you have a zip file or a zip folder, and you don't know specifically what's in it, something that may get through our filters, just go ahead and delete it from your deleted items folder. That way it's out of your account, out of the system, and you don't have to worry about an accidental execution of it should something happen. Well, we hope this video helped to explain a few things about some of the phishing scams that are going on. They come through in many various shapes and sizes. As you can see there, they didn't really, it was very hard to really understand. So that would be the the first level of stating or placing a red flag on it, stating that this is a very cautious or a very an email that you should be very wary of and not click on the links, and you want to do a little further investigation on your own to decipher whether it's good or bad. And both of those appear to not be good, so we're just going to go ahead and delete them. That's one thing that you always want to remember, is if it does not come from a source or someone who you specifically know, or a domain or a company that you specifically work with or have, just go ahead and delete it. If you get a contact or a phone call or even another email from that person and say, hey, I never got a reply from you with that file that I sent to you, well, they can just send it again, and shouldn't be any issue with that. But we certainly want you to stay safe, as you know that there are times when things can get through. The majority of times things are caught, and our filtering does a very good job. So please keep an eye out. Keep a memory on that. Always be wary of any email that you get, and hope this helped out. Have a great day.